All right, guys. Well, I'm back today with a very impressive high-value shotgun option. Whether you're looking for something as a race gun competition shotgun or something as a dedicated personal defense semi-auto shotgun, this is going to be a good value for money in both of those categories. We are looking at a collaboration between Military Armament Corporation with their MAC 1014 that was previously reviewed on the channel and Agency Arms, utilizing some of their components direct from the factory. Now, this gives you a ton of value for money in a well-performing platform that's been tested time and time again on the channel in the form of the MAC 1014 Turkish imported shotgun. Now, this is all thanks to Battlehawk Armory, and Battlehawk Armory is a huge supporter of the channel. Battlehawk made this collaboration possible, so again, a huge shout out to Battlehawk Armory. Again, without them, we wouldn't be doing this particular review. Now, what really struck me about this setup was the Agency Arms components make a dramatic difference. This is not just throwing some components on a shotgun and calling it a day. Each one is well thought out. They enhance the build, and they do a good job of what they're designed to do. We're going to start from the front, work our way to the back, talk about the specs and features of this collaboration, the value you are getting when you are looking at something like this, as well as its performance down at the range in a few different key categories that I like to take a look at with semi-auto shotguns, one being reliability. Spoiler alert, it's really reliable. Now, right off the bat, you are getting an 18.5-inch ported barrel, which is a deviation already from the standard MAC 1014, and the ports on this barrel really do a good job of mitigating not really the recoil impulse, but keeping the shotgun flat, and they do a halfway decent job of kind of absorbing some of that recoil in the 12 gauge, and it works out perfectly. This is also compatible with Benelli chokes, and the Benelli choke styles are included, but these are again the MAC 1014 chokes and choke tool included in the package, so a nice touch. This can be adapted for a wide variety of applications and doesn't just have to be a competition shotgun or personal defense. You could definitely put this into different roles for hunting applications, maybe turkey hunting, things like that, with a wide variety of chokes. Also up front, you are getting the blade sights. But this particular one, even though it looks like it's got a full tube extension because of, I believe, 922R compliance and import reasons, this particular one only has a 5+1 round setup. So you get 5 in the tube, 1 in the chamber, but since this is a Benelli M4 style shotgun, you actually can ghost load this to get 7. But with that being said, all of the other aftermarket Benelli components will be available to put on something like this. So it's a nice touch that you can swap that out if you wanted to. Now, moving along, you have the sling swivel right here that you can put whatever sling you want. And getting into the meat and potatoes of the setup, let's talk about those Agency Arms products. Now, the Agency Arms rail system is probably one of the most notable features on this setup, and these alone generally sell for right at about $4. And when we talk about high value, the MSRP of this shotgun is right around $1,200. But to keep that into perspective, Benelli M4 build setup from Agency Arms would be $1,500 just for the components. You would purchase the 1014, or sorry, not the 1014, the Benelli M4 for whatever you may purchase it for, 2,000 MSRP. You send it in, and for $1,500, they do the work and put on the parts. So you are $300 less than that for the MSRP of this shotgun. So that puts it in the perspective what you're getting when it comes to value with the Agency Arms. Now, the rail system does an amazing job with having M-LOK everywhere you need it, and you could put whatever lights or laser aiming modules or different shell holders on the side of this, and it does an amazing job. Really love what they've done with this. Keeps the heat away from your hands, and no matter how many rounds you run through it, I haven't overheated the rail whatsoever. Very comfortable to shoot. Some other really nice things about this shotgun is the fact that it's got an Agency Arms bolt, extended charging handle, and bolt release. And this is probably one of the nicest bolt releases I've felt on a shotgun. It's just intuitive. It makes sense, and you can actuate it from almost every point. You can wrap around the top, load, and hit that button. You can come around the bottom and hit that button. It just makes sense, and it works, and this extended charging handle works really well, and love the agency arms bolt. The other cool thing is this one has an enhanced loading gate and an agency arms lifter for added reliability, and man, does this work. Your thumb is not going to get pinched in something like this. It's super easy to load, and these critical components also enhance reliability. And granted, the 1014 I have has never really had a failure on me. It just keeps chugging along. So with all of these advancements with agency arms, you are truly getting a premium setup. And when you pick this up, you feel like you are getting a tricked out Benelli M4 that would generally go for an MSRP of $3,500. Again, we are talking about an MSRP of $1,200 on this particular setup. The trigger on this guy is going to be pretty much the standard trigger you would feel on like a Mac 1014, but out of a lot of the Turkish imports, the Mac 1014 has the best trigger in my opinion. I couldn't tell you why that is. I don't know if it's just the examples that I have, but it's a good trigger. Is it going to be the best trigger you've ever felt on a shotgun? I don't know. Probably not, but it's pretty darn good for the money. You also have the ghost ring sights on the rear, the pick rail at the top, which is perfect to add optics or whatever you want. Again, this one is bone stock from the factory. We will definitely be doing an update video in the future on this particular setup because I love it so much. Speaking of Mac products, they also just released a comped double stack 1911 that I've fallen in love with. You could start to see a theme building, like that 1911, that 2011 is amazing. Comped, awesome, blew the pants off of other 2011s at the same price point, and you start looking at shotguns like this, you start to see a theme developing of some really nice products at affordable prices. But let's get back to this particular shotgun. The rubberized grip is nice. I like it. Nothing super special, but it does a good job of not like bringing that recoil back into the palm of your hand because of the rubberized feel. And then it switches to the standard polymer. This one is also nice because it actually has QD slots, which is great. And you can attach a QD slot to the M-LOK rail system wherever you want on this thing and then have a nice QD sling, rubberized butt pad, and overall it's a fairly solid stock. Now let's talk about performance and reliability down at the range. And this is where I want to give a huge shout out to Target Sports USA for their ammo support on this project. I really appreciate Target Sports USA and their ammo support, especially with things like 12 gauge and 22. It just makes sense. Again, a huge shout out to Target Sports on this one, and reliability of this thing just knocked it out of the park. Birdshot, buckshot, slugs, there was nothing that this thing couldn't eat, and it functioned great with every single load I put through it. And that was the same with the 1014, but it felt a little bit different with this. It was easier to load. It was easier to chamber the next round. Everything just felt a little bit better. Everything felt smoother, and that is definitely the agency arms components doing their job to make the experience more reliable and more pleasurable down at the range when you are shooting the shotgun. The other cool thing about this is I can't outrun it, and that's something that I can do with things like the Benelli M2, but not the Benelli M4. There's also some of the Turkish import M4s with ported barrels and different work done to the bolts that kind of help the smoothness or the recoil impulse, but then you can start to outrun those shotguns. This one is quick. Super fast just like a tricked out M4, and you can't outrun this shotgun, meaning pull the trigger before the bolt is home. It just does an amazing job with that. And that's key for me. I can't stand getting some of those shotguns and being able to outrun them. This one you can't outrun. Super fast action, super reliable action, and this thing stays on target functionally. The ports in the barrel do a good job of keeping it on target. Transitions are easy. Double taps are easy. This has become really my go-to kind of Turkish M4 copy. This 1014 Agency Arms collaboration really blew me out of the water when it comes to quality craftsmanship and performance down at the range for the MSRP. So I hope you guys liked the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Would you ever consider spending this much on some type of kind of Turkish M4? I really want to hear your thoughts and opinions. I've truly fallen in love with this setup. And again, a huge shout out to Battlehawk Armory for making this all possible. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.